If they ain't got it, I'ma mask up and take it. 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 Mask up and take it.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your favorite mask collector's favorite mask collector, AJ Good here at the House of Masks, and in today's video we are doing part 1 of the new life-size Buckethead build. Today we are going to be focusing solely on the mask, which means we are going to be converting this 83 Caesar recast that I got from my buddy Tyler Reed into the version of Big B that we will be doing the life-size bust of. Not really a bust, just an actual life-size display. I don't know why I said that. I'm so used to talking about busts because of the Slipknot stuff that's going on. Anyways, for those of you that don't know, I do have a life-size Buckethead build already. It is based on the 2016 Buckethead appearance or get-up that I saw back in 2016. Super rad. He's wearing his Jordan jersey, 90s KFC bucket, stuff like that. So, is he here? Tell me when you're done walking. It's extremely loud. Not used to filming in the basement at all. Anyways, I have since seen Buckethead again. Just caught him a few weeks ago. The same venue that I saw him at the first time, and that show was super special, so I want to commemorate it by doing another life-size Buckethead build. He did have a drastically different appearance this time, and I'm very excited to get to work on it because a lot of it is super personal. When I unboxed this mask, I mentioned that I was able to track down the artist that made the original Grandpa, and I talked him into making me another one, and the story on that is really fucking crazy because I could not find him anywhere. I couldn't find Night Stalker Productions anywhere, and I looked for a few days. Google searches weren't turning anything up. I tried to find the mask specifically secondhand, and nothing was happening. So I tried one last time on Facebook, and I looked up Night Stalker Productions through like a hashtag, and I found someone that had tagged them a long time ago, back in like 2012 or something, and I found this page that hadn't been updated since 2013. So I was like, shit, chances of getting these people to reply to me is slim to none. But I sent him a message. I asked if he still made masks, and he got back with me a few days later and said yes. I asked him if he would be able to do the Grandpa mask for me, and he said absolutely. So now I have a Grandpa mask on the way. Another fun fact is that that mask was sculpted in 2008, so it is fucking old. Over 10 years old. And the one that I gave to Buckethead was the only copy he ever did that had blood on the mouth. So I have another one of those on the way because Buckethead used the mask that I gave him during the Jowls bit where he talks with Herbie. I'm going to be getting a Herbie of that version. I think I'm going to let Douglas Little do that one up for me. And I've already replicated the bucket that I gave to Buckethead that he wore for that show. So once the mask is started, we pretty much just have to get a hold of a mannequin and then the actual wardrobe that he wore. The rest of the stuff is already in motion, and we will have a second life-size Buckethead here in the house. I think it'll probably be a slow process because I'm really trying to focus on the Slipknot busts. I'm getting fairly close to having the set closed out. Once the Mick bust is done, I think we're going to do Chris and Paul. Not sure which order, it depends on which mask shows up first. And then we will finally knock out Craig and Corey. I could actually probably do the Craig sooner than that. Thinking out loud. But anyways, yeah, enough of me just rambling. We're going to go ahead and start converting this. Basically what I need to do is cut out a little section of the mouth, kind of make it broken because Buckethead's mask was pretty busted up. I'll show you guys some reference photos over here so you can see what I mean. And something that I noticed in concert as he was handing stuff out was that right above the actual mouth hole, towards the bottom of the top lip, there was some grunge buildup, and I think it's probably just a discoloration where he's constantly breathing through that mask, and some condensation had built up and just gotten kind of gross. So that's disgusting, but we have to make this as accurate as possible, so we are going to be going ahead and adding some paint right there. So without further ado, let's hop into a time lapse to show me tracing this line out. I've got my reference photos on my phone here. Once we've got it perfect, I'll go ahead and cut it out, and then we will do the paint on the upper lip. Abracadabra. Okay, so now that we have the cut in there, obviously these things get pretty flimsy and I don't want this to keep spreading and eventually just bust apart. These masks are pretty fucking brittle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and reinforce some of that on the inside with some duct tape. I'm gonna be using the black side first so that you can't see like the gross white side on the inside. And then going over it again from the opposite direction, if that makes any sense. You guys will see what I mean here in a second. So now we have it nice and reinforced there on the inside, and it just appears to be black on the outside. That is the reversed piece of tape right there, and obviously I've just covered it with some regular pieces of tape. And now this thing's strong, and we don't have to worry about the crack spreading or anything. So now we can move along to the tiny, tiny amount of paint that this is going to require. Alright, so the collar of the Funk, if you will, is kind of like a gross yellow, brown, flimmy collar. It was really, really nasty from what I remember. So I'm going to be using some brown and some yellow ochre, and then topping it off with a little bit of this rust dust weathering powder type stuff. This is dark earth, so it's not quite a rusty collar. It's more of just an actual like soil gross collar. And we'll just be doing a really, really, really extremely light dusting of this over top of this once it starts to dry. But for right now, we are going to mix up the paint and try to get something as close to, as I can remember, the collar on the actual mask being. Alright, so we've got what I would say is pretty fucking close to what I remember there. Unfortunately, I can't find any good reference photos of this, but I definitely remember seeing it and kind of pointing it out to Kate, so we are just going to do what I can from memory and how I think the actual like funk would build up on the mask. So here goes nothing. Alright, boils and ghouls, we have the mask completed here, and like I said, this is just step one in the actual full series of this life-size build. So even though this isn't the most exciting thing, it is the main key element. It is the mask. Everything else is based around that, and we have it completed here. So a nice, simple, sweet video. Nothing too crazy, and it's only uphill from here. So look forward to the rest of the series. I'm going to go ahead and show this off in as much detail as I can, even though there's not a whole lot to it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and we will see you later.